Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Grow Wednesday. It is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. It's 8 o'clock Central Time. Every Wednesday night, we do this. I am your host, Meow Meow, no lie, no lie. Actually, that's not true. Let me fix that. We'll be right back, guys. We're going to play an intro for about 4 minutes and 20 seconds, and we'll be getting some time to hit that like button and share it out. If you could help me do that, it would be really appreciated. We'll be right back. Let's grow.
The indoor farmer has a tale to tell. Under the glow of LED lights where his stories dwell. He's not just growing greens, he's sowing seeds of thought. In a studio with a microphone where wisdom's bought. We grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time. With Waylon, we'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time. We'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Join Waylon for our journey so fine. Learning, laughing, and sometimes sad, but always together from the good to the bad. He speaks of the benefits, the pros and the cons of the plant that has helped him feel less withdrawn. With guests from all walks, stories to share, Waylon makes sure that no one feels like they're there alone. So come every Wednesday, find your place in his light, where Waylon, the indoor farmer, invites you to grow not just plants, but your soul, your mind, in a world where together we're truly aligned. Tune in, grow with us, let's expand our view on We Grow Wednesday with Waylon. It's true.
Waylon, the indoor farmer, has a tale to tell. Under the glow of LED lights where his stories dwell. He's not just growing greens, he's sowing seeds of thought. In a studio with a microphone where wisdom's taught. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time with Waylon. We'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time with Waylon. We'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. We grow and they are one big team, growing together.
When the indoor farmer
All right, everybody, what's up? It is Wednesday. I just realized I need to edit this real quick, like while we're talking. Oh, it did fix. Okay, cool. We are good to go. Excellent. It's March 12th, 2025. We are just flying through this year. It is going quickly for me, and always something going on, always something growing on. So I hope you guys are out there having a good week, getting something started for that nice weather. Maybe already going pretty good inside, and then getting some mid-sized plants or whatever it is. In Illinois, it's like tomato plants. Everybody grows tomato plants. Tomato. Well, got to get those 1,500 trays of tomato plants ready for out in the garden. It's like, why? I mean, I like tomatoes. Okay, they're all right. I don't, I want to grow the little ones again, though. Guys, it's We Grow Wednesday. We try to get you through the hump, through the week, and it's all about trying to find out what's happening in the world within our health, our wellness, our nutrition. Yes, our food, and yes, our farming and stuff like that, agriculture. But all of that stuff is connected, right? That whole chain of custody between that ground and my mouth, right? So we all have to kind of pay a little bit of attention to that. There's so many things out there that we give our attention to. Why not a little bit more of that? There's funny stuff. There's interesting things happening. There's always some kind of new technology happening in the world of food and farming. So that's what we're here for on Wednesdays. We check out what's happening with marijuana and psilocybin and the edgier things. We get into that a little bit later. I do want to fix my name one more time. I'll fill it all the way out real quick. Like before we get into that, though, guys, if you could help me out, hit that like button. Share with all of your friends. Email this out to everyone. Email it out to all your friends. See, let me put the subscription. The Indoor Farmer. Locals.com, guys. Boom. That is where you go to subscribe and go and get in on the after show, the after sesh, if you will, because that is where we're going to be doing more and more interesting, just sort of fun, laid back stuff. We're going to get into that maybe later, but we're not going to talk about it right now. But we have been having fun with that, so get in there. If you are already a member, go check out those after shows and see if you'd like to be checking them out. So we'll probably do that after this show here. Give us a good hour and a half of checking out what's going on. Let's share it in. Let's share the tab in, guys. We're going to share this whole thing. There we go. I see you guys. Chris, I'm sorry, man. I don't think I still didn't get to my messages yet. I cooked dinner for my son and I. We had, he calls them shrimp pansies. Shrimp pansies, that's what he calls them. Let's see. Anything? Let me just check it real quick. You might still be owed some of that. I don't have I don't have any more frog juice right now, Chris, to answer your question. DC, Cassandra, hello. Come on in, guys. I didn't see everyone popping through the comments, but if you could check it out and go over to Locals and X and even Kick. But I'm actually doing pretty good on X and not Locals, but Rumble. So many names, even I get confused, huh? All right, so we're going to pull up. What should we pull up first? Let's check this out. Have you guys seen this video of RFK Jr. hanging out with Jay Leno eating the tallow French fries at Steak and Shake? So I don't know if we can play the whole thing, but I can play a little bit of it, especially if I do something like this. So this is from Fox News. It's 1.5 minutes, 4 minutes 20 long. You know what? I actually don't think that I have the audio shared in anyway. So let me do that real quick. Because it's worth it to see this happen, because I can't imagine that he would want to eat fast food French fries anyway. But he's trying to send a message that at least these moves towards a healthier healthier way of cooking things is one step, I guess. I mean, we hear about all sorts of other things happening, but this is the one thing you can really just find footage of right away. A lot of people actually have this shared, of course, over on X. They all share it and just like it's mine. But I'm going to share it with you guys live instead.
The small with the little ice, but I'm not going to drink it all because he's going to yell at me. I'm only kidding.
And Steak and Shake just switched out, and people are raving about these French fries. You taste them,
They're
I taste
amazing.
them.
They really are. I'm not. There's
Yeah.
not.
When I was a kid, I travel in Europe. The Europe is great. Always had great food. The French fries were always disappointment because we had the best French fries here. They had pommes frites over there, and they just didn't taste right. Today, the best French fries in the world are in Europe. I order them every time I go to Belgium or France or any place else.
European French
here
fries.
just don't taste right. And you tasted these. It's
Never
a
had
completely
European
different
French fries.
experience. The customers are raving about it. Other companies, Steak and Shake has been great. We're very grateful for them for RFKing the French fries. They turned me into a verb.
But it's now a verb.
But also Popeyes.
Maha verb.
By the way, a plastic straw. Thank you.
Hi, Sandra.
Thank God. I can't stand those paper straws. I hate them.
So just a little snippet of that, I guess, but interesting. Eating Steak and Shake right there on the right there on it. There's, for being the party of the Fix the Planet and the eco warriors, the people who are upset at Elon Musk are now burning Cybertrucks and burning cars and burning the dealerships and just anything they can with Tesla involved. And so it's like that's a little bit contradictory when you're talking about environmental protection and trying to further the green energy movement. Look at these Cybertrucks just burned to hell. It's crazy. A few lunatics out there, I guess, that are really hate Elon Musk. Let me I bet we can check this out here. Vivek says, start PE in kindergarten, bring back the presidential fitness test. I remember the presidential fitness test. If you guys remember that, comment below. Serve healthier food in public school cafeterias. Get the cell phones out of the classroom. That's going to be a hard one right there, Vivek. Oh, snap. The best way to save on health costs in the long run is to start with a healthier population at a young age. I agree with that. Maybe the adults, us adults, myself included, we grew up with all these gadgets, TV, and then the cell phones became even more addicting. Can we reverse those trends now for health? Like not just cell phones, but all of it, the types of food we eat. That's what we're trying to do here. That's what we're trying to do with the Maha movement and this. Every day I am tagged on X with a whole big list of other like farmers and homesteaders and people that are trying to just make it more popular in the mainstream culture to talk about these things, right? Yeah, if I sit here and drone on about corn and soybean prices in the stock market, you guys are going to fall asleep. But I tell you what, some of that stuff is the problem. That's why we look at it a little bit, because it's hidden in those details where what's really happening to our food. It's crazy. Okay, I need to find out what's trending here. Okay, we're just going to move to the next site. Josh, what's up? Take back control of our food by producing it ourselves. Yeah, I mean, I would have to say, I agree with that, Josh. Obviously, you know that, but what I would also have to say is that it seems like will still be a use or a need for producing more than producing abundance, right? And that's basically what a farmer is. They go after it commercially now, and you might think of it as commercial, but it's a person that grows more than they need, and then they can sell it or barter it to others. I think that will still be a thing, right? I think you'll still have farmers, but to your point though, everybody should be trying to grow a little something. Maybe you've got, Chris is like, maybe he's good at growing like different small herbs, and that's like herb garden, and then you got Alan in here, well, I know what Alan's good at growing just about everything. But what if Alan's like, he specializes in tomatoes or something, right? And so you'll still have this sort of a trade system, but if everybody had at least have the thought that, hey, at bare minimum, I need to know a little bit. I need to not just know, but having a sort of the forefront of our mind that plants and growing and all these things we talk about here are the sort of building blocks, so to speak, and literally, of everything else we like about society, the screens, the technology, all of that stuff, right? And so if we just keep that in mind, I guess, even if you're someone that doesn't grow something, which I still, I'm erring on the side of you with what you said there. I want more people to grow more things. But even if you don't get to that point, just realizing how much more important that is than, say, I don't know, writing a 6-page editorial about like Brad Pitt's junk in like a magazine. Like those guys get paid a lot of money for that shit. There's usually cowgirl involved. Glad to see it. What? Okay. Well, happy. Thanks, cowgirl. Chris is in the house. Small farming, yes, but industrial, right? I mean, no. I mean, obviously, if we take away, say, if we could wave a wand and take away all industrial farming, which is bad, not just industrial farming period, but I mean the industrial farming which is bad. If we could like literally somehow look into every farm and be like, oh well, this one's a mass farm, but like it's doing a good job or something. It's regenerative or whatever. So there's probably like some regenerative farms now that are pretty big, but not necessarily like the industrial stuff. Exactly. It's normal here. We barter in that. Yes, bartering is never going to go away. That's literally what money is. It just stands for bartering. Lazy Bones, what's up? Our goal is at least twice a week to make a meal that involves absolutely no grocery store. See, that's a lofty task, even by saying 2 times a week. I once thought, well, if I could somehow grow everything I eat, and it's like, even that. You ever watch like the Alaska, The Last Frontier, where they got to trade with their neighbors because they're sick of whatever the hell it is that they've been eating for a while. Let me continue reading here. Make a meal twice a week. The other night we had breakfast sandwiches, peaches with milk, sourdough bread with a local friend, from a local friend, eggs from our own birds, bacon and sausage from a farmer down the road, milk from the farmer down the road, peaches off of our own tree, canned last year. That's pretty good. That's awesome. And I'm sure you don't have just 1 or 2 people either. It's a family trying to do that. Love bartering. It's exactly. I mean, it is literally what money stands for, right? What's up, Kim? How are you? Come on in, guys. I have not passed out numbers yet, in case anyone's wondering. I know I made the post, and I can get to it when I get to it. I meant to do it last night during the after show, and I totally forgot. We ended up getting Bean Dongo up there to hang out for a while, and then it shut off on us. A lot of different websites are having technical problems right now, not just Facebook. There were some DDoS attacks on X and Rumble, and I think YouTube as well. So just keep that in mind with all these different glitches happening. Paid a half gallon of moonshine. That's interesting. Yeah, we can barter with a lot of things. I think that basic agriculture, cookies should be included in education. Why should cookies be included? You mean cooking? Cooking? I think you meant cooking, and if you tried it again and the autocorrect hit you again with it. since you get out of it, or since you get out of it what you put into it, you might as well focus on the things you enjoy eating. Yes, yes. I mean, it would be kind of tough to eat only, peaches. If say you only had peach trees, you'd still want to, like, okay, let me trade some peaches for the guy down the street's got some eggs, like just like Lazy Bones was talking about. Yes, I know exactly. uh, Keep bartering alive. Yeah, I don't think there won't ever be a way to take away bartering. Like, they don't like it. The country or the government doesn't like it because then you're not paying sales tax. So there's a whole thing there, but we could get rid of that. Hey, trade concrete work. That's cool. For plumbing, I trade some things for plumbing. A little bit of green when I have it. Hardest part is knowing how much to grow. To know a lot, yeah. But through lasting the winter is the biggest thing, and that's why I talk about growing indoors. It's not to fully completely replace what you grow outside, but to supplement in those truly cold winter season months, that it's like, hey, I could have a little bit of greenery in here. Maybe it doesn't produce enough to sustain ourselves, but it could be enough to keep you happier throughout the winter. Speaking of keeping me happier, let's toss a little bit of, here we are, so a little bit of music out here. We're not done with the article. You guys have some good motivation. Cooking, yeah, yep, my bed. Cooking. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't cook yourself in the bed. I'm just kidding. Or autocorrect. I got you. Speaking my language. Hells yeah, Smashly. Speaking of Smash, we're going to be seeing you probably this weekend at the Irish Fest. Not looking forward to the drive. I am not looking forward to the drive, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, and I'm gonna find out. Is it a dog friendly event? I can bring my dog. Everybody loves her, or I could leave her home with my mom. But yeah, we're gonna find that out before the weekend. And actually, speaking of that, guys, anybody that's like that enjoys game night, I may end up having to cancel or postpone, or not postpone, but cancel this week's game night and go next week, just because I don't want to I don't want to give myself like a short window and I have to rush. I have my son this weekend, so I have him Friday, and then we're gonna do a little trade skis. We're gonna trade days, and then I'm gonna get out there to the Irish Fest. It's gonna be good. Yes, but the guy down the street is an ass and sprays his trees with chemicals. See, touche. I mean, you can't just say it's good because it's down the street. You gotta have like form relationships with each other. People don't realize that we can't outsource the relationships that we need, the bonds that we need from each other. Not necessarily family bonds, but a community bond. I mean, you could go live off in a cabin in the woods, but I don't know too many people that truly like to do that. You might like to live in a cabin in the woods and be able to just Amazon everything in, or drive down to town and get stuff. But I'm talking about like, in the woods, nobody's coming to deliver you anything. That's doable, but nobody wants to do that. So that means inevitably we need each other, right? That's why we're looking at these articles. I try to look for stuff that's worldwide, but for the most part, I end up with stuff that is, just in America or the U.S. All right, let's share some more things in here. I could go scrolling X a while longer. There's a lot of news outlets on X that put up different things, but we're gonna skip ahead to. We're gonna go to foodandwine.com. They have a lot of interesting stuff. Usually some food that's not good for us, but we're gonna check it out anyway. Only reason I speak with him is because he's a gardener. Yeah, that might be the case. But you know what, though, Alan? If you work with him, like say, give some of your time to the gardener, helping him weed the garden, or doing, with a fence or whatever it is, then that's a legitimate exchange. Like, hey, you don't have to like the guy any further. If like you say, hey, I could help you out with this physical labor, I don't know how to grow, but maybe I can help you with this, right? Cut this tree down or something. And then it's like, hey, what does it matter? It's a okay, let me give you these vegetables, let me give you this fruit for this work. And then it becomes a barter system, even if you are not necessarily on good terms. Now, if you're not on good terms, you want to at least know that the person does a good job or has a good product. All right, let's see what foodandwine.com has to say today. 15 dinner-inspired recipes. No, from milkshakes to hash browns. Diner. What am I saying? Dinner. Diner-inspired recipes. No, we're not going to check that out. It's okay. Diners are diners. It's basically what you can cook in your kitchen. Let's check out some news with celebrity news. I don't know about that. Restaurant news. TV entertainment news. Let's just go to food news. We're more interested in our food on this show here. And this is those would have been topics related to food, of course. Food brands, food science, weird science. Onions. Have you guys seen the trend? Oh man, I should share this other screen in real quick. Have you guys seen the trend of women in the kitchen with hoodies, pulling the hoodie tight over their face, using a lid from like a saucepan, like a clear lid, and then cutting the onions? Supposedly it helps keep your eyes from watering. But I also heard from Mama Rochi. Shouts out to Mama Rochi. She said that you can just run some water, and evidently running water, the thing that makes your eyes water, it gets absorbed, or it gets pulled towards the running water. I don't know how else, but it's drawn to. That's probably the better way to put it. Hey, G-Lo on the X, what's up, man? You want to come up and co-host for a few minutes? You don't have to. You can maha yourself as well, but you're welcome to pop up for a bit. We're going to just check out a few things, such as going to X here a little bit, and we're going to look at the cutting onions trend. Is this it? No, I just want to see them cover their face. Okay, that seems unsafe, that's for sure. All right. Using lid. No. Lid on face, cutting onions. I know there's going to be a video of it in here somewhere. That is not even close. Might have to Google this. I don't want to have to Google this. Why is it the same video 3 times? All right, X. This is bogus. No. No. Oh, they got goggles. No. Oh, the bread. I guess is that another trick? The bread? Hold bread in your mouth and that's supposed to help you? Okay. That makes kind of sense. Nope. Nope. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to find it. I just got on, G-Lo, so a couple hours. What do you got? You're finishing up dinner or something? I am searching for that trend because I want to show you guys how crazy it looks. Hoodie with lid over face. Oh, come on. Now it's just going to be a bunch of pictures of hoodies or videos of hoodies. I guess I'm going to have to Google this bad boy. Oh wow, this lady did it to go shopping. She didn't have a mask. That's not that's not what I'm looking for. Oh man, I wanted that to. Okay. Cut onions. Yep, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop. Have you guys seen this? Actually, you noticed that I released a few thousand ladybugs last summer, and he had talking more often since. Oh, he's not aware that he can that you can fight bugs with more bugs. Ah, yep. I bet you a lot of farmers are in that boat. So this lady is having a hard time making this happen. Lady got a lot of hair sticking out of it. I don't think that's going to work out. There he goes. That looks crazy. She's like gonna panic. Gonna have a panic attack any second. Holy cow! Does anyone else use this method? Does anyone use this method? You can take your lid, use it as a mask. What if your face itches during this time? You know? Interesting. Huh. So we finally found it. I knew it was a thing. Shopping for another hour. Okay. Yeah, well, I might be on. You have to check it out. No big deal. EU, Canada announces retaliatory tariffs. Yeah, we knew that would happen. But it equalizes in some way, so it will. In my opinion, the tariffs will equalize over time because it's still all about supply and demand. Supply and demand is everything, and when it comes to the trade between countries. Growing anything new this season? I am growing. I'm growing a lot of onions right now, a little bit more, trying to get them to propagate. If I can stop eating them. Seen but never tried it. Smash, if you're bored, you can pop up. Be a little co-host of some of these wonderful articles and information out there on the health and well-being of us people. Chris, hitting me hard here. That looks like it would take way too much time to start cutting onions. Yeah, I mean, maybe. It seems like if you get used to it. Seen it but never tried it, Smashy said, so, it could be a thing. Just don't cut the root end unless you soak it overnight. The root end of what? The onions? I just tough it out and cry like a man. Well, we need to get those tear ducts, give them some exercise, They're in spirit. Okay, well, hey, the views would go up. I'm just saying. Come on up. All right, let's see. Let's read a little bit about it. Products in response to the newly imposed 25% duties on all steel and aluminum imported into the U.S. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that this is going to push us to produce a lot of our own products. I do not see that as a bad thing. Incentive should be how we work. Incentive is how humans work. Sometimes you can say things are evil or good, but a lot of times it's really just what was the incentive? What was the best or the strongest incentive in that situation for a human to kind of come out ahead of in some way? And that's sometimes what corruption is. A lot of times. Let's see. The Trump administration's metal tariff took effect the same day. The EU countered with tariffs on $28 billion in U.S. products, including poultry, beef, certain seafood, nuts, eggs, dairy, sugar, and vegetables. Well, I think we're going to need a lot more of that here domestically. We aren't going to be able to ship out as much soon because we are getting rid of more of these factory farms and stuff, like you were saying, Smashley. Like the shrinking of the industrial farming industry will inevitably make it a little bit tighter on the production of food until we can ramp up and properly incentivize, like we said, incentivize the expansion of the agriculture field within like regenerative ag. So we can properly incentivize that. Excuse me. We can incentivize the regenerative ag more and more, and incentivize us to grow our own, like you guys were just saying, and Josh was saying earlier. Let's see. Canada, the largest steel supplier in the U.S., will place 25% reciprocal tariffs on steel and aluminum products and all raised taxes. Did I just read this right up there? Canada, Europe newly imposed 25% duties. It's like saying the same thing right here. Aluminum products and also raised taxes on tools, computers and servers, display monitors, sports equipment, and cast iron products, impacting nearly $30 billion worth of U.S. goods. So, like, they're one-upping it. I mean, what do they think? Where do they think that's going to end when they one-up everything? You know, it's really going to end where whoever is the biggest consumer economy is going to have a demand for goods, and whoever is out there producing, and they end up producing in excess of what their country would want from them, they're going to want to sell those goods, and so it's going to make things equalize, I think. Let's see. What do you say there, G-Lo? We're growing potatoes right now. Okay. Supply and demand. We don't like maple syrup anyway. You live in a tub? Yeah, Smashley does live in the tub. Consider propagating a few pineapples out of the hoop house. Okay. Yeah, I have the one pineapple, and I don't know if it's actually going to actually fully grow. Wouldn't it spike my views? It would be like, hey, we've got me and Smashley. How you doing tonight, Smashley? And she's like, sinks down below the bubbles. Sounding like that guy from that crab dude from Futurama. Not sure pineapples grow well in the zone. Yeah, because you're going to be in more of the elements, not being fully inside like I am. Let's see. In the yes, or EU President Ursula von der Leyen said in a statement, the countermeasures which match the economy's scope of the U.S. tariffs will start April 1st, be fully in place by April 13th. April Fools, we've got all you Americans by the April Fools. Let's see. Meantime, I heard that Trump didn't want to start the tariffs on April 1st because he didn't want anyone to think that it was an April Fool's joke. In the meantime, we will always remain open to negotiations, she said. We firmly believe that in a world fraught with geopolitical and economic uncertainties, it is not in our common interest to burden our economies with tariffs. Well, you know, why don't we have it the other way for a while, since we were the ones not charging for much for a long time? Like, why can't we switch it up for a minute? You know, the EU's response will include reimposing tariff measures from 2018 and 2020. See, they already had them. They just had some. But 5 years ago, that's not that long, which had been suspended. These reinstated duties will be applied on U.S. products ranging from boats to bourbons to motorbikes. Top 5 U.S. agriculture and related products exported to the European Union by value are soybeans, $3 billion, almonds, $1.2 billion, pistachios, $689 million, whiskeys, $533 million, and food preparation products, $521 million. I get it. I mean, there's a lot of things happening, not just in our country, but other countries. A lot of posturing, a lot of repositioning. There's going to be other ways that the cost is going to be offset for other reasons, like not just Doge, but other things that we're not going to be spending our money on overseas and things like that. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration, and I don't have the math, the capacity to do that kind of math. But I know that none of us really know the ups and downs of how things are going to turn out because of this. But I do know this too. You can ask yourself this: out of some of our biggest major brands, well-known, longest running brands of American products, how many of those companies are now building those products overseas somewhere? And that's not just because they feel like it, and it's not just because there's cheaper labor over there either. It's because of the way shipping works. It's because of the way that, the shipping had worked. So I don't know. Me for one, I for one believe that it would be great to get some of those companies back. Like look at like Harley Davidson. Don't they have a lot of overseas, production? I'd have to look into that. For some reason, I think I saw something about it. But there's a lot of big companies that you could point to that are just they don't produce here now. Car companies and stuff that are now producing somewhere else. U.S. Excuse me. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer responded to the EU's announcement, stating the EU has opposed the United States' effort to reindustrialize. Yeah, so definitely, I agree with that. Because that's what we're trying to do here. The EU has rejected attempts under successive U.S. administrations to cooperate effectively on dealing with global access capacity on steel, aluminum, and other sectors, employing measures that are too little and too late, Greer noted in a statement. The U.S. punitive action completely disregards the national security imperatives of the United States and indeed international security, and is yet another indicator that the EU trade and economic policies are out of step with reality. Canada on March 13 is imposing 25% reciprocal tariffs on steel products worth $8.7 billion. Boy, my throat here. Let me just take a drink of this beautiful new tumbler I got. Have you guys seen this? Look, we got We Grow Wednesday right here. Should have made that second W a different color, I think. A little bit of nice cold water. Wash it down with some water. All right, let's see here. These tariffs are in addition to Canada's 25% counter tariff, so they're adding more. They think, oh, well, let's just double it. Let's just one up them and double it, Makes sense, right? Let's see, 25% counter tariffs on $20.8 billion of imports from the U.S. that were put in place on March 4th in response to other tariffs, other Trump tariffs that he has delayed, or he delayed by a month, right? He gave them a month, and they actually did make some moves. Canada and Mexico kind of made some moves to help secure the border, I think. I'm not sure if they actually put the boots on ground, but they were, about to. Trump initially said tariffs in Canada and Mexico aim to urge the countries to help stop the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. and secure borders. Yeah, if they helped us out with that, maybe it'd be worth the cost difference. Trump administration has delayed the 25% duties on the items that fall under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, until April 2nd. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, the delay followed the announcement of 1 month exemption, 25% on vehicles and auto parts trades through the USMCA. Trump also plans to impose reciprocal tariffs on all countries beginning April 2nd. This is just a lot of posturing going on here. I mean, other than the ones that were already imposed, but as part of his first round of tariffs announcements, Trump started imposing a 10% tariff on imports from China. So that one obviously went through. Then the administration increased it to 20% on March 4th. I did not know that. Okay. China has responded with retaliatory tariffs targeting U.S. ag products, including 15% tariffs on chicken, corn, and wheat, and 10% on soy, pork, beef, and specialty crops, which went into effect March 10th. 15%, okay. So that's a lot of Chinese tariffs that we've already put into effect. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah. Hit that like button if you all haven't. Let's see a hashtag WTIF in the comments. Profit Watch. Ag equipment sales down again. UAN 28 leads fertilizers prices higher. Retail fertilizer prices continue to rise according to SellerTrack. See, that's what I'm saying. Aquaponics is the future. Fish fertilizer. Let's go. Chancellor inspired Ag Tech Summit one last time. Inspires Ag Tech. Okay, as part of his goodbyes as Robert Jones leaves University of Illinois, he addresses Ag Tech Summit. Interesting. I saw a big picture of mushrooms on marijuanamoment.net, so we're going to check that out here soon. Okay, he was the Chancellor, University of Illinois Chancellor Robert Jones celebrated the 10th anniversary of U of I Ag Tech Innovation Summit March 4th on the University Research Park. With more than 500 in attendance, the 2025 edition of the Summit will be his last before he leaves the university in June. Okay, this is one of the most important gatherings this university takes part in, said Jones, who has attended the event for 6 years, including virtually during the pandemic. He leaves Champaign after 9 years in the position to become president of the University of Washington. He'll be the longest-serving chancellor at the university since the first one. Okay, but I want to see what he had to say about agriculture. Really? Okay. Okay, here he is. While there are tough challenges to solve in ag tech, Jones said, I believe we have the tools and the talent. If we harness them, we have the ability to find the solution, okay? Hey, Joe, I see you over on the Kick. Joe says, milk imports from Canada were at 275% tariff before the tariff going into effect recently. So they have been overcharging us for a while. They get $100 billion assistance from us they can't afford to lose. Okay, that makes sense. He also says, finally planted my pineapples in dirt a couple days back. So far, so good. Okay, in soil in an indoor pot, Joe, or is that outside somewhere? Okay, moving on. Let's see here. Warm week features chance of severe weather. Yeah, I guess that's true. It is super warm right now. And think about that. International calibration highlighted at Ag Summit. I'm sorry, collaboration. International collaboration. Of course, that sounds bad. I don't know why, but it sounds bad. Inside, it's only in the 40s here. Okay. Just bring priorities to commodity classic stage. Commodity classics. See, there's a lot of these like ag conferences and stuff that just seem boring as hell. But that stuff is like important to every single person that can hear my voice right now, and also all the ones that can't. And it's just such a boring thing. 5 different commodity group leaders took the stage during the closing general session of the 2025 Commodity Classic in Denver to discuss issues that are impacting their members. Farm bill that we're currently working with has become an antique. It's not relevant for the risk that we have today as farmers. American Soybean Association President Caleb Ragland said, touching on a difficult ag economy and looming trade war. Ragland said the bill needs to include relevant reference prices. Alan had to step away. Up to that. That's okay, brother. Appreciate you hanging out, bro. Make sure you smash that like button before you leave. Appreciate that. If you're watching on X, due to Mr. Gilo sharing me out, I do appreciate that, Gilo. If you could hit that like button, follow the page there. We had a trade war. Let's see. We had a trade war about 7 years ago, and reference prices didn't trigger during that trade war, and now our cost of production is even higher. Okay. National Corn Growers Association, which again, if we are pumping more oil, we should not need so much corn being turned into ethanol. There's a lot of moving pieces here that farmers are just looking at the one thing, basically, the imports and exports. Like there's a whole bunch of other things that are going to sort of take place here. If we don't need to produce certain things because we're not exporting them, and we consume more of them here domestically instead of buying them from somewhere else, then things that should equal out. It shouldn't be that they are suddenly, have to half their crop or whatever. Even though the government is doing that a lot of times, being forced to euthanize chickens, or having things happening with the cows or different crops where they're being paid to destroy certain crops. Anyway, National Corn Growers Association President Kenneth Hartman Jr. of Illinois put a focus on creating market demand. Creating market demand. That doesn't make sense to me. We need to create market demand for our product. What? First of all, it's food. If you're not growing something that's edible or that's good for us, which I don't believe a lot of corn and soybean is. Yes, maybe on some level, but not the mass amounts that we use. Corn, soybean, wheat. They have to create demand. By what? Having like awesome little cartoon characters on boxes of cereal, and shoving it into other products. You can. Well, let's put filler and wheat and stuff into everything. All right. Let's turn it into gasoline. All right, that's a good idea. Well, let's stop pumping oil so that we can just grow crops just for some kind of gasoline. Anyway, I don't like that terminology, obviously. We're looking for a higher blends of ethanol. Okay, bam. I didn't even read further, and look at this. We're looking for higher blends of ethanol like E15, E20, E25. It's a great product, and we want to keep working on that. He said, noticing NCGA's grassroots efforts to secure signatures in support of year-round E15 during the event. Yeah, see, they're not even worried about whether they're growing food and feeding the hungry, feeding the masses or whatever. They're just like, what can we make the most money on? Well, it's popular to make this ethanol now, so let's make more of it. Right? They also want to work on trade agreements, Hartman said. Okay, so they're like, hey, we need to force more people to want ethanol so that they'll buy our crops that now suddenly we aren't able to sell so much of because of those darn tariffs. Like, well, maybe you shouldn't have been growing so much in the first place. I don't know. Maybe I'm just ignorant on that, so I'll leave room for error, but it doesn't sound like a good thing to me. Let's see what he says. Well, we also want to work in trade agreements, Hartman said. There's opportunities with countries like India, Vietnam, Indonesia, and even Africa, and we're hoping that our new administration can work on some of these trade agreements. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other countries we could trade with that we're on good terms with, per se. To start growing corn that shinier use Jimmy Red that are going to make the bank. I have no idea what that means, Chris. They're going to use like Jimmy Red. Okay, is that a type of corn? Jimmy Red corn? Let's see. All right, I'm done reading about this because getting in the weeds a little bit. Speaking of weeds, let's go check out marijuanamoment.net. New Mexico Senate passes bill to create psilocybin therapy program. I think we might have read that last week. Missouri Senator approves bill to legalize psilocybin therapy for veterans and sex trafficking survivors. Interesting. Missouri. Minnesota Senate approves bill to expand marijuana-related expungement and resentencing. Very good. Musk's Doge touts cancellation of marijuana research grant from federal health agency. Well, that's a shame. I wonder where they. I'd like to read this because you never know what the actual article says. Nevada senators take up resolution calling on Congress to reschedule psychedelics and streamline research. Interesting. Some good articles out today on Marijuana Moment. New president's SS plan 2025. It's not anything to do with this website. I would like to read this one, that's for sure. Jimmy who cracked the red corn. It's an heirloom. Okay. That's a good point, Smashley. That's a damn good point. Jimmy cracked corn. Now, I don't care, but he did. He did crack it. He did. I tell you what, though, Chilo, I should probably throw the link over here in the chat just in case you get a minute to pop up. Since you were interested, but you're out shopping about. Is it still there? No, that's not it. Give me a second. Let me pull this back up. Oh, we're at that hour. Very good. Smashley, if you're going to be up for a while, and Chris and anybody else that's interested, definitely consider hanging out for the after sesh. Probably watch a little bit of something funny, maybe watch some interesting music videos, take some calls, and get some we call it requests from you guys. All right, Gilo, I put the link in the chat in case you find it. No worries. 994 on the X, guys. If you're watching from X, hit that follow button. We got 158 people in here. If you pop in on the X, trying to get up to that 1,000 mark would be really nice. All right, so let's get back to this marijuanamoment.net. Has some really good stuff today, it looks like. Want to sign up for the Academy and Psilocybin Studies. Okay. Got all the head stuff right now. Okay, interesting. For like psilocybin. What's up, Derek? How are you? I'd comment, but not from phone. Big cyclone here. Oh, snap. 8 days, no power. Wow. It's been 8 days? Derek, I haven't seen that. You know what? Let's go check this out. March 9th. Over 350,000 homes in Australia left without power due to storm reports. Wow. There were 440K people with no power. Oh my God. I wish I could. Now I'm bed. Been working as much as I can. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. No worries. Wow. Wow. Well, Derek, I'm surprised you're even able to talk to me right now. That's intense. It's the same video. Okay. March 8th. Excuse the language. LOL. It got worse throughout the day. Currently 20 hours with no power. Some places 48 hours no power, and still could be 2 days before they even get a chance to. Cyclone in Australia, and Derek says it's going on 8 days, no power. Wow, man, that I'm guessing destroyed anything you had growing outside. Any special plants or anything that you had growing. That's crazy. I'm glad you're okay. All indoor plants will die. All indoor plants will die? Oh, because no power. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think about the indoor plants. The outside and the inside, I'm guessing. God. Wasted. I am really glad that you are okay. All right, let's take that off of there. No, that's last year. Still no power. Oh, wow. Well, Derek, I definitely will say a prayer for you, brother. I hope everything, I hope there's not too many losses, and I hope there's some kind of effort to clean up and get back on track. You will grow again. Yes, you will. That's rough, man. I'm glad you stopped in. I'm glad you let us know you're okay. All right, let's read a little bit about this shutting down of the. Let's see, the Trump administration is touting its cancellation of federal grant funding for a study examining cannabis use risks among LGBTQ plus individuals, non-binary people, and heterosexual women. Well, that's everyone except straight men. So that right there, boom. I don't even need to read anymore. That's a discriminatory program, and I would also cancel it. Period. Let's read more. On Tuesday, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, that's headed up by Elon Musk, listed a series of National Institutes of Health, NIH, grant funds it has eliminated, including the Marijuana Research Project. Yeah, for the National Institute of Health, they found to be not so trustworthy lately. Today, NIH canceled the following grants. DOGE said on X, which is owned by Musk. Of those grants, one was described as $699,000 for studying cannabis use among sexual minority, gender diverse individuals. That's not a particularly nuanced characterization of the research project, which focuses on examining risk factors for cannabis use disorder, CUD. I forgot about that. CUD. This whole they created a disorder around I guess there's a similar thing for alcohol, right? Alcoholic disorder among not only sexual minority gender diverse individuals, XW or SMWGD. I'm an SMWGD. You can't mess with me like that. But also heterosexual women. But also we'll throw women in there because we want the women votes. So we wanted the women in there. That's insane. Inclusive teen pregnancy prevention program for transgender boys. So they listed a whole bunch of different things. Yes, and so this article was misleading right off the bat because Musk Doge stops cancellation of marijuana research grant from Federal Health Agency. Oh, we want them to research marijuana. That's not fair, man. I want them to see its benefits, man. And then you read into it, and it's like, oh, yeah, because it was discriminatory, and it was also probably, just money being funneled to someone in another way. Just my guess. Personal opinion on that one, but for sure it's not my opinion that this is a discriminatory program. That's an easy one to prove right there. 7 things Trump plans to do for seniors. Okay, that's just they're still wanting me to read the Social Security story. Researchers at Ohio State University, OSU, sought to identify similarities and differences in effects of shared risk factors on cannabis use, or CU. CU. Do you have a CU? For these two groups determine if differences in CU trajectories contribute to CUD disparities. Identify unique risk factors for SMWGD, according to NIH. I'm sorry. You know what? I have plenty of gay friends, and maybe maybe I don't see eye to eye on every single thing, but I have no problem with you and anybody that like that. But this is the thing, like that whole paragraph I just read was bullshit. It's just clear, disparities on cannabis use. Is there discrimination within the cannabis industry? I mean, maybe if one guy doesn't like another guy, that's discrimination. I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna be a thing. This is just wow. That's just overwhelming. Oh, bye, Smashley. I meant to say bye. I'm sorry. All straight manner, a little bit gay, according. All straight men, okay. Ron White, I don't know. Sexual minority women, e.g. lesbian, bisexual, queer women, and gender diverse, non-binary sexual minorities assigned female at birth are at elevated risk for cannabis use disorder. What? Wow. All right, I'm not reading any more of this. I'm glad it's shut down. We're done with that. I'm glad to see this from different states, different bills happening. Nevada senators take up resolution calling on Congress to reschedule psychedelics and streamline research. That's going to be like actual research, I hope. Missouri senator approves bill to legalize psilocybin therapy for veterans. Well, maybe we should read this. I've seen this picture before. I mean, this is from, they used the same picture before, so that's weird that you would use the same, like a recycle old stock footage, I guess. The Senate Families, Seniors, and Health Committee approved the legislation from Senator Stephen Weber on Wednesday. Similar House bill focused on the psychedelic moved through the separate panel earlier this month. In addition to being 21 or older, a military veteran, or sex trafficking survivor, and enrolled in a clinical trial participant in a proposed program would need to have PTSD, major depressive disorder, MDD, substance use disorder, or be in end of life care. Well, I fit that bill. They would also need to provide documentation to the State Department of Mental Health about the treating physician, facilitator, and location of and time of use. Joe, you're over on this side. What's up, man? Further use of psilocybin would be limited to 150 milligrams during a 12-month period. I really don't know how much that would be. 150 milligram? Bill also authorizes the State Department of Health to provide up to $3 million worth of grants to support research on the therapeutic potential of psilocybin. It also expand Missouri's right to try law to extend access to psilocybin for those with terminal illness, and it protects both patients and practitioners from facing state-level penalties for using or recommending the novel therapy. Meanwhile, Missouri's Republican Attorney General recently said it's absolutely appropriate to make psychedelic therapy available as an alternative treatment option, particularly for military veterans, and he plans to be involved with any program that may be approved by the legislation as it takes up various form proposals. Interesting. Marijuana Moment is tracking hundreds of cannabis. Okay. They are tracking a lot of stories. That's why we check them out every week. Let's see. Cultural. Marijuana consumers respond better to realistic anti-impaired driving message that avoids stoner stereotypes, AAA study finds. Well, that just makes sense. We don't need to read that. Majority of Americans say alcohol is more harmful than marijuana. Ding, ding, ding. Survey says, of course that's true. Oprah highlights cultural shift around psychedelics, but worries about losing my mind if she experimented. Wow. Okay, let's check it out, Oprah. Let's see what kind of quotes we have from Oprah here. Winfrey credited Palin for being part of the shift I've seen, including the increase in media coverage, personal stories about people who have engaged with the experiment or with the experience of psychedelics. I think something is happening in the culture. The media mogul who has previously peddled controversial myths about psychedelics, such as the idea that MDMA causes abscesses in the brain. Palin said that what happened since 2018, I never would have imagined how many studies are going on, how much research is being done, and how many people are seeking psychedelic therapy. Winfrey said that while she's intrigued by the experiences of others who've taken psychedelics, she's personally would be afraid of having a psychotic break and losing my mind and not getting it back. She did concede that there may be something to the effect of plant medicine on consciousness. I'm not conscious enough to know, but I know that there is a oneness, there's a connection with all of nature. I just don't know what it is. She said, adding that is in nature, the plants aren't speaking to me, but I know that there is life there. I know that there's something going on that is deeper than what I could see. Okay. She also equated the psychedelic experience with meditation, saying, "It sounds like psychedelics is a higher level of the deepest of meditations. You're elevating, enhancing, and opening your consciousness to experience life and yourself differently." That's what I think. Yeah, I mean, she's about right. I think that's all I need to read on that one. Science and health. Atlanta's discrimination of marijuana led to the reduction in violence crime, new research shows. Violent crime. I said violence crime. Yeah, that's awesome. Decriminalization of just marijuana. Well, yeah. Coating dentures with CBD can help prevent oral infections, government-funded study shows. See, they're still funding studies, just not that discriminatory one. Marijuana offers hope for treating chronic pain and reducing use of other medications, new study shows. Medical marijuana provides significant improvements in cancer symptoms, study shows. Okay, we've known that, but I mean, I'm sure it depends on the cancer. Using marijuana every day could help people quit opioids, new study indicates. Yes, we already knew this. Medical marijuana is a safe and effective treatment for pain and sleep uses in older people, study shows. Okay, I've already seen that last week. Okay. We already read most of the politics ones. 7 hours ago, Idaho voters will be asked to block themselves from legalizing marijuana under measure lawmakers approved for 2026 ballot. What? You're supposed to block ourselves. Colorado bill to limit marijuana potency tightened age restrictions and limit psilocybin products. It's withdrawn by sponsor. Oh, snap. Okay. That's from yesterday. Somebody tried to propose a bill to limit the potency. Psychedelic therapy pilot program in Nevada. Here we go. See, Florida lawmakers seek to impose tighter regulations on hemp industry without putting damper on business. Well, how would you do that? Like what? Or like where can we squeeze a little bit tighter without stopping the money flow? There's plenty of evidence medical marijuana can treat female orgasm difficulty. We've read this before. So why are some states saying no OPED? OPED. We read the story on this website one other time about the use of marijuana helping females with orgasm. And here they are with another similar twist on that story. Twist, if you will. Let's see what's trending on this one. We didn't actually go down through here. The common pantry staple lasts forever. Yes, really? This common pantry staple. Here's why your brain is wired to want dessert, even when you're full. It is too. Your office microwave is a hot spot for bacteria, according to the recent study. Ooh, look at that. You know, that reminds me though, the air fryer you have to clean out as well, and not all air fryers are as easy. Mine has like a combination of different things it can do, so you have to get up in there in those coils. What makes stinky cheese, well, stinky? Why should I try it? Why should I try it? I don't know. Have you guys ever tried stinky cheese? I think I'm good on that. This food group may be the secret to better sleep, according to a new study. Interesting. That seems pretty good. Let's just find out. Let's just skip through the study and find out. Fermented foods and getting better sleep. Okay, we don't have to read anymore. Fermented foods. I want to start doing some more fermenting and canning and stuff like that. It'd be great. Is your drinking water safe? Studies suggest chlorination levels may be too high in the U.S. See, now that's disturbing. Methods. Okay, experts say drinking water disinfection is essential, but current methods may expose people to potentially harmful compounds. Well, duh. Fluoride, chlorine, all kinds of things. Nearly all public drinking water in the United States and Europe is treated with chlorine. However, a new study suggests that the current level of chlorination may raise the risk of multiple cancers. Gee, duh. In the late January, researchers from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden published their analysis of the Environment Health Protection, showing that chlorination in the widespread method of drinking water disinfection and that has the drawback of introducing potentially carcinogenic chemicals by producing the drinking or byproduct in the drinking water. Well, here's what you need to know. It's not the chlorine itself, it's the byproducts. The team explained that chlorination is a cheap, effective, and readily available method for preventing waterborne infectious disease, and is widely adopted worldwide. Safe Water explained it's a chemical disinfection process that uses various types of chlorine or chlorine-containing substances to disinfect a potable water source. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention added that some public utilities switch between chlorine and chloramine at different times of the year or for other operational reasons. While some of that use underground water do not use any at all. This testing shows it has lower level of germs and contamination. Okay. About the chemicals. Chlorine can be added at various steps. Pre-chlorination is when chlorine is added to raw water immediately after it enters a treatment facility, or more commonly as the final step in the water treatment process. This is done to disinfect the water and maintain chlorine residuals that will remain in the water as it travels through the destruction system. Safe Water explained the amount added varies depending on the impurities in the water that need to be treated. Okay, yeah, they've got me. I don't drink out of the tap anymore. Does anyone else drink tap water? I think that's about it. Oh, sorry. So sorry. Let's see. I bet you there's a lot of Maha posts. The American Heart Association is actively fighting legislation to prevent food stamps from being used to buy soda and candy. Why? The NGO relies on funding from Pepsi and Kellogg. Wow. I don't know that. I mean, I can't necessarily believe what they said about the Pepsi and Kellogg. I can believe it. I can pretty much believe the first part though, because they are trying to prevent that bill, or they're trying to block it. And I know that they're trying to introduce a bill. What do you guys think about this? The thought that people that are on food stamps or Link or SNAP or whatever you call it now, do we think that you should be allowed to buy sugary beverages, sugary foods, unhealthy foods? What do you guys think about that? I mean, I've been on it. I think I just let it lapse and I haven't gotten back on it, and I probably qualify, but I just haven't gotten back on it. So it is one of those things that I think everybody should be honest about. Like, yeah, if we can say that is just for the basics, the bread, milk, and eggs, and even you could argue that those things aren't good for you. Although the eggs, I think, would probably be the best in those three things. But you could argue a lot of things about a lot of things. But you could pretty much, I think it's a no-brainer to say soda and candy, and chips. I don't know if there's a list that they have of specific things, but it'd be interesting to find out what their point is, or what their counterpoint is, why they don't want to back it. Let's see. soda candy, potato and corn chips, and cookies. Oh, he's the testifying opposition. That's crazy. Population health? Wow, okay, let me back up a little bit. You might not be reading what he said, but he said that the American Heart Association thinks that it will reduce the reason that SNAP was or food stamps were created, and that was to reduce hunger. And so their reasoning is that because people can't eat garbage anymore from the SNAP benefits, then it's going to make them or make them more hungry. And I just oh wow, like that, they're really stretching really thin on this point they're trying to make there. It says that reducing the root cause of chronic disease. They say that it won't. They don't think it will reduce the root cause of chronic disease by reducing sugar. And she says she's here to help advocate for children to reduce the chronic disease that's caused by sugar. They sent a Big Pepsi or Big Soda sent their own person to negotiate. Wow, that's intense. I want to let you read the caption one more time. Oh, my camera went out on me. Hang on a second. I have to reset my camera. What time is it? 9:30. I guess G-Lo. I guess we're not going to see G-Lo come back. Let me go check while the camera's booting back up. There it is. We're back. We're back. Camera and all. Here we go. That's crazy, though. Breaking, this is from March 11th. Club Maha. Breaking USDA Secretary Rollins has announced the Trump administration will put a stop to China buying American farmland. Oh, nice. That is a hell of a development. They currently own 350,000 acres. It's amazing we've finally got a president taking action on this. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. That's pretty intense. This is about RFK. Maha moms have made their way to Washington, D.C. to continue the righteous work to ensure that we have the best, the safest, and the most transparent food supply in American history. So let's go. I'm all for that. Maybe we should listen to this video. Oh, wow. Yeah, we want to hear this. Oh. Give me a second. Let me share it indirectly so we can hear it. I have to shut the tunes off for a minute. And we're going to get over to the after show here shortly. Been learning a lot today. It's my day to kind of go over the news and go over the different trending things happening in our health in the world of food. All right, let's share it in and listen to this video real quick.
This is a list of ingredients from foods: carrageenan, riboflavin, monosodium glutamate, and 20 others that I can't pronounce.
It doesn't sound good. Polysorbate 80, that stuff's really bad. Sodium cereal sodium steroid lactylate. I think you're getting the picture that you can't pronounce this stuff.
Sodium gilionate, titanium dioxide, polysorbate 80, BHT, TBHQ. The Make America Healthy Again movement is the strongest movement in America because it contains moms.
And the most exciting thing today is dozens of MAHA moms that have made their way to Washington, D.C. to continue the righteous work to ensure that we have the best, the safest, and the most transparent food supply in American history, as we all work as a MAHA mom myself to ensure that all of our kids going forward can live a healthy, incredible life that we can provide in this country.
If you are an American company poisoning us with ingredients you don't use in other countries, we're coming for you.
Wow. Okay. Coming for you. It was a little cringe, not gonna lie, a little cheesy, but I tell you what, anything that helps bring more eyes to our health, I think is good. Secretary Kennedy said it. He is very optimistic about major food brands partnering with him. Major food brands partnering, yeah, they better get on board. Better get on board.
That Americans are tired of being the sickest people in the world, and that consumer choices are now changing. The consumers, the Americans, largely because of the MAHA movement, are demanding that we have a change. Thank you all very much for coming. The brands are listening to them. They understand that they have a new sheriff in town here at FDA, at HHS, and in the White House, and that President Trump wants something that is going to happen not in 10 years, not in 4 years, not even in 3 years, but he wants it to happen right now. We made it clear that we want to work with them, and we would prefer a relationship that is collaborative, cooperative partnership. And they very, very much agreed with that. So I'm very optimistic.
A whole bunch of companies right here flipping through their logos. Look like those companies must be working with.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Let's see how that goes. I think we read or heard that one already. Touching moment there. All right. Well, let's go ahead and put it back up to me. Back to me. A lot of awesome stories that sound promising going on right now. Some that are misleading that we found out. We found out exactly tonight. We found out why you should read at least a little bit into an article, and probably most likely 3/4 of the way, if not the whole way through, to find out what they're really trying to say. A lot of times they are just kind of trying to sensationalize the headline, and then a lot of people read only headlines. Like I do that. Some of those headlines, you notice, like I don't have time to read through the whole article and every article, and sometimes we'll check the headlines. That one doesn't seem like a fun one to read. That one, and kind of like go through them, and that's not going to be the way that you can really fully know what the headline means, because you have to actually get into the story about it. Anyway, fun. Let's go. I think I will go over and immediately start handing out numbers. Unless, I don't know, maybe I could do that here. How many people do we still have? 11 on the Facebook. Am I still live? This thing is stupid. Okay. You guys want me to hand out numbers here, or do you want to run over to locals and hang out a little bit? Have a little nightcap. Let's see what you think. If you're watching on Rumble, cheers to you. Appreciate you guys. I really do. The Rumblers that don't comment, I understand. You're not into the commenting of things. But if you could at least hit that like button, I would appreciate it over there. It would help me out. I'm seeing a little bit of traction on Rumble, not a lot. I used to have way more. I used to get thousands more views on Rumble. It's really crazy how they've just kind of shut the door on it. We have way more followers. follower count just went up. We're at 469. Giggity, giggity. So shouts out to the followers on the Rumble. We're up as the highest I've ever been, but yet also the lowest visibility I've ever had. What? Does that make sense? I don't think so. So, you know, some of these websites will drive people insane by just tweaking things and just the algorithm junk. So if you could help me out on those other sites, Facebook is I'm actually seeing Facebook lighten up a little bit, but they've also got some glitches. Maybe I just fell through the cracks, so to speak. I comment on here. What does that mean? Nobody. I comment on here. Oh yeah, you comment on Rumble. I see 11 Rumblers right now. Cheers, Rumble. I would like to get to a little dabbage though, so I think we're gonna close up We Grow Wednesday. I learned some things tonight. I learned a lot tonight. There's a lot of new things coming out all the time, and yeah, I can't even keep up with all the places to find new stories. So if you guys ever want to send me stories on health and wellness, feel free to do so. Tag me in stories and things like that. That's fine. And I'm going to try to look at things a little bit earlier than, you know, through the week and find and tag some things that I think are important, big stories. So anyway, it's a good time on Wednesdays to check out what's going on. So I appreciate you guys for stopping through. We are going to head over to locals, and I'm going to set up. I'm going to hand out numbers live on locals. So if you want to watch it to see who's, you know, your number, but I'm also going to put them out in the comment or in the post that I make for subscribers. So if you haven't commented on that post, you better do so real quick. So I'm about to go over there right now. Remember, go sign up at theindoorfarmer.locals.com, and you got exclusive live videos. You've got me singing along with all sorts of videos we can watch over there that we can't watch over here. So go join us. We'll be there in about five minutes or so. Remember, guys, it's all fun and games, but we got to pay attention to our food supply and what's happening. If we don't grow it ourselves, we still got to pay attention to what's happening with it, because we all got to eat. So we'll see you tomorrow night on People in the Boxes. We're going to talk about electricity at 8 o'clock Central Time tomorrow, every Thursday night. See you then. Peace out, guys. Thanks again.
Yeah, this is for my green thumbs in the game. Wailing the indoor farmer, check my name. Sustainability, we about to reclaim. This is how we do it, keep it in the frame. I'm wailing the farmer, the indoor king. Living off the grid, what the city can't bring. Got my hydro set up, my LED lights. Growing all my greens, all through the night. Self-sustain, that's the mission. Growing my own, I'm not missing. Indoor farming, the hustle's real. Whalers here, and